Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today I actually want to present you just a hilarious gameplay, and I want to present you and talk roughly about the Type 1924, which is the entry destroyers in the tech tree with a battle rating of 3.7. And as you can see, it comes before the Type 1939, which in my opinion is in many ways actually weaker, but in one aspect it is massively stronger. And furthermore, we then have also the Kanonenboot Card 2, which has its own special flavor that is not really that great. So, we're talking here about the early destroyers, and they have a lot of problems when they have to face the hordes of the premium destroyers and their battle rating equivalents. Now, I think the Americans and the British have now also two destroyers with the Battle and the Sumner that are slightly better than in the premium destroyers. But I think there must be a clear cut. I had a lot of games today with the ship, and it is somewhat cool to play it, but it's not really special except for one thing. So when I say this, I mean that this ship is having 3 128mm guns, which is so much better than, for instance, for the British, the Clemson L45 with a single 4-inch quick-firing Mark V gun that has some very bad ballistics, whereas the 3-inch naval anti-aircraft Mark V gun in the back is even better at dealing with ships. Back to the 1924. So there is one thing where this ship seems to be really cool, and this is actually dealing with the, not really dealing, but being the distraction for enemy aircraft. Let's have a look at the battle. And so here we are on the Arabian Sea, if I'm not mistaken, and it is a beautiful map. Now look at where I spawned, and this is actually closer to B than to C. So this is the first time that I actually spawn here with a destroyer, with a low battle rating destroyer. There are so many ships that I still have to play, and yeah, I launched here my torpedoes in anticipation of maybe even having a lucky hit. You never know. And I think the torpedoes are not much use in close quarters versus patrol boats. So I try to support here my PT boats as a distraction, and maybe I can gun down one of the threats of my team, for instance the MBK, the Russian one, or some Fairmiles, or in particular the German counterparts, the AFDs, aka also the half SF40s, if you know what I mean. So I want to pick apart the bigger ones, trying to shift the balance in favor of the hordes of my PT boats. As the only destroyer on our team currently, oh wait, there is another one. Yeah, I think to myself, well, let's see how this goes. Now again, you only have one of the 128mm facing forward, but they still have a decent rate of fire and they are a big gun. But that doesn't really mean that much. As you can see, this is with the stock ammunition. This is not having the base use HE or the AP CBC rounds. And I think I have to work with this now, I guess. So there is this, the turret rotation speed is not the best, and I also have just only 220mm in single mountings. So that is one of the reasons why this ship might be 3.7. The successor in terms of the tech tree, the Type 1939, has significantly more anti-aircraft firepower. Same goes for the Kanonenboot Card 2. But you have a fairly decent speed, and the Alpha Strike I think is overall better, and I think it is really the guns that make this one not the worst entry destroyer. Look at the Clemson L45 for the British with a single 4-inch gun that also has ridiculously bad ballistics. I think this one is definitely a better destroyer. But this is not the purpose of showing you this video. The purpose is showing you a ridiculous match. Now, the action in the beginning is not the best. Some of the shots are sadly not that great as I want them to be. I take here a little bit of damage, but it's superficial. I am not taking here any critical damage. I hope that I'm kind of a distraction, and I want to go into the flanking position of B, because if I go directly into B, there is always the threat of catching a torpedo or two. And there is now the SF-40 Leichte, and you can see I am focusing him hard down, and my 128mm HE does a lot of damage, 6% left, and then he actually goes down. So dealing the critical damage is very important. There is a hydrofoil, and that hit was really nasty and really important. So because I actually hit under the waterline, and so I also hit the engines. So he will come to a stop, the entire ship body will be on the surface, and the holes that I actually made with my big shells are now underwater. So he's on fire and flooding and losing speed with one hit. I think that's pretty cool if you hit those things, and was very lucky that he was in a turn, and from my perspective he was nearly stationary, or he was not shifting the direction. So far nothing seen of the ridiculous that I promised you, but here is the first customer. Aircraft. Aircraft are a big threat to the bigger ships, and I don't know how to say it, but it's very annoying. I think ships have, especially in a closed beta, it should not be such a main focus on aircraft, but more on ships, and this is what I kind of miss. You will see what usually happens to me if I am in a destroyer, which is not the Cowell. Yeah, there is the first one, and he dropped the bomb perfectly. I'm on fire, but I'm not flooding, and half my propulsion is taken out. One notice here is that I actually didn't lose too much of the ship, and I think the fuel tanks, the special array of the fuel tanks, is very important. Now what is very nice to know here is that he dropped his only bomb. Yes, it was a German bomb, nevertheless it was a bomb that could have taken out a PT boat in its entirety. I, on the other hand, just made this spawn of the aircraft, well, a bit useless. I mean, it's still there, and another bomb from an aircraft that I didn't even hear coming, and we were still on fire. And I hope that now I can repair before the flooding takes over. 8 seconds left. I'm down to 55% buoyancy, under 50%. Oh, the ship is leaning hard, 42, and now we are in the pumping situation. We still have to pump out the water, and as you can see, I'm recovering buoyancy, but I'm completely combat ineffective to my left side, because I cannot, depress the guns that far. But again, this was the second bomb, and I'm still there, and as long as I can repair, I guess I still have a point in the battle. So this was now the second aircraft attack. Let's count them throughout the rest of the match that I have within this ship. So there are some more aircraft coming in. My anti-aircraft is opening up. Now, to have 220mm is massively more and massively better than having none at all. And I think this is kind of hopefully a bit of a distraction for the enemy. Obviously, if you are in the skies, you see the biggest ship, you want to kill it, and this is good. And there you can see the middle section of the ship is actually heavily damaged, but the bow and the stern not so much. And this will keep me alive for quite a while, and the ending is kind of hilarious. Now, as you can see with the video, there are still a few minutes to go, and a few more attacks to come as well. My anti-aircraft gunners are very well trained. I have a very good crew with the expert qualification, not the ace qualification, but now I want to close in on B. I think the main PT boat fight is over, and what is left is most likely the hard hitters of the enemy team. MBKs, Fairmiles, and also the LCS, or other ships with the 40mm or armor, and you name it, and I'm there to kill them all. So now I actually try to switch to the 20mm, but the turret rotation speed of those single mountings is hilariously slow. and the Stuka does a kamikaze attack. Wrong nation, buddy. So there is this. This was now the third attack of an aircraft. I still think we can count this as a proper attack. And 3 bombs, fourth attack, aircraft destroyed, and I still survive it. It was dropped too perfectly. It was not on the bow, not in the stern, so the section is saturated. It's already damaged. Yes, I'm on fire. Yes, I will lose a bit of crew percentage in the process of extinguishing the fire, and again I'm massively flooding and another aircraft is taken out. So I think this is very, very important to just make aware. Another aircraft attack, make it 5 now, and again I'm burning, but I still was fire extinguishing and I was still trying to recover buoyancy, so there was not that much. Another aircraft is coming in. Let's see what we can do about him. Come on, 20 millimeters, come on. And we killed the Stuka. Beautiful. That was the third aircraft right now. So, you know, I'm just sitting here. Please don't let a PT boat come around the corner and let me eat a torpedo or something like this. Another aircraft attack. 6 aircraft attacks. Yay, so much fun, so much, you know, ship RP. Yeah. That's just simply everywhere. There are more aircraft in the sky than ships. Oh man. It's ridiculous, and I really wanted to share this with you. So out of all the aircraft attacks, I potentially should have died, let's be honest, but I was very, very lucky that they dropped the bombs always in the same section, that one attack came after the other and not all simultaneously. And I was also very lucky that I was not simultaneously engaged by some of the patrol boats. There was more luck than judgment with it, and I know this. So if it would have shot me if they would have dropped the bombs in the Oryx, there was not much that I could have done. And another aircraft, 7th attack, and I can't hit him. Ah, that's bad. And another aircraft is coming, 8th attack. And he's actually tries to gun me down with the back gunners. You know, at least he's trying, and there is not that much crew left, so if he gets a very lucky hit in, then yeah, maybe. So there was actually another attack going on, and then there is the ship, and after 9 aircraft attack, it was actually a PT boat shooting at me with a 20 millimeter, and that actually killed me. So I hope you enjoyed this video. 3 kills on planes, 3 kill assists, a massive distraction, 9 aircraft attacks before I died to a 20 millimeter of a PT boat. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the waves of War Thunder.